Yeah, I hope that you hearing me. This is the future, all about cybersecurity. Talking about the hackers, I'm just trying to warn you. From the one and only legend, the cyber informer. Hey, yeah, this is the cyber reformer. This is the cyber reformer. Let's go.
It's time for the Cybersecurity Business Connect and Protect Central Coast how-to video. I am Michael Trimblett, the Cyber Informer at cyber_informer on Twitter. Today we'll be continuing the Yubikey series. In this video, we'll be setting up the Yubikey to secure your login to Microsoft 365. As a bonus, we'll use Microsoft Intune to configure your workstation to log in using your Yubikey and Microsoft 365 account. I'll show you how this all works. Let's go. For details on what a Yubikey is, go back and watch the Q&A video, How Do I Use Multi-Factor Authentication Without a Phone? Introducing Yubikey. As we've already covered what a Yubikey is on that video, we'll move on. Microsoft allows organizations to enable FIDO2 security keys as a passwordless authentication factor. By utilizing Microsoft passwordless login flows, organizations may realize the following benefits. Strong security, protection against phishing, man-in-the-middle, and password spray attacks. Improved user experience. Users no longer have to remember long and complex passwords. Reduced costs. Minimize password-related help desk tickets. FIDO2 is an open authentication standard. If you've watched our previous videos, you'll know I'm a fan of open source software and open standards. This is what I like about FIDO2. It is hosted by the FIDO Alliance that consists of the W3C Web Authentication Specification and the Client to Authentication Protocol, or CTAP. CTAP is an application layer protocol used for communication between a client or browser or a platform operating system with an external authenticator such as the Yubikey 5 series. In other words, it allows web servers, potentially on the other side of the world, to authenticate you using your security key plugged into your computer. FIDO2 offers the same level of high security based on public key cryptography. This is the same technology that allows you to securely connect to your bank. FIDO2 offers expanded authentication options including strong single-factor or passwordless, strong two-factor, and multi-factor authentication. We'll be looking at the passwordless option in this demonstration. For this to work, we need a Yubikey that supports the security standard FIDO2. I'll be using Yubikey Series 5 in this demonstration. These are the prerequisites for logging into Windows using your Microsoft 365 account and Yubikey. In this demonstration, we'll be looking at the top option, Windows Azure Active Directory Joined, which is one of the only options that allows you to sign into your device with your security key. The prerequisites are you must have Microsoft Azure Administrator Access in order to set up your tenant. This is typically the global admin account for your Microsoft 365 tenant. You must have a Microsoft Azure Active Directory tenant. You will typically get this when you have a Microsoft 365 business account. You should have at least a Yubikey 5 series key. I will be using the 5 series in this demonstration. A Web Auth enabled browser. I would recommend Edge, Chrome, or Firefox. I will be using Edge in this demonstration. Windows 10, 1809 or greater. Check out the how-to video updating Windows applications and devices for more information on updating your Windows 10 to version 1809 or above. Note, this will also work on Windows 11. You must also have internet connectivity to Azure AD to validate the login attempts. For this demonstration, these are not optional requirements. The purpose of this video is to log in using your Microsoft 365 credentials. For this to work with Windows Login, using your Microsoft 365 account, you must be running Windows 10 1909 or above or Windows 11. The computer must be connected to Azure Active Directory. I will show you how to do this in the demonstration. The additional requirement is to activate a license for either Active Directory Premium P1 or Microsoft Intune and have the license assigned to your account. This is to enable mobile device management, which is a requirement to enable smart card usage on your tenant. Some of the gotchas are, your old user profiles will still exist on the computer, but you will need to reset up your desktop, OneDrive, SharePoint Sync, email, etc. Only Windows 10 and 11 are supported for this login type. We're going to configure licenses in Microsoft 365, configure the tenant to use smart cards, and configure user accounts for Yubikeys. There'll be some technical talk and concepts. Intermediate users of Windows and Microsoft 365 should find this not too difficult. This section is rated 3 propeller hats out of 5. In this demonstration, we'll set up Yubikey with Microsoft 365 and then use Microsoft Intune in conjunction with Microsoft 365 to let us log into Windows using the Yubikey and Microsoft 365 account. First things first is that we need to set up the account in Microsoft Azure. We've looked at this in the past when we've set up Microsoft 365 with multi-factor authentication. If you haven't watched that video, go back and watch the video because it is a prerequisite for setting up a Yubikey. We'll log into portal.azure.com and click on the Azure Active Directory icon. We need to set up permission to add a Yubikey to this tenant, so we'll click on the security menu on the left-hand side. Now we need to allow the use of FIDO2 keys when logging into the Microsoft tenant. Click on Authentication Methods, then on FIDO2 Security Key. Ensure Enable is set to Yes and Target is set to All Users. If you don't want it for all users, you can select a number of users to activate with FIDO2 security keys. Once enabled, you then click the Save button to continue. Once this has been enabled in Azure, we now need to enable it on the user account. Go to portal.office.com and log in as the target user. Click on the user profile up in the top right-hand side and select View Account. Click on Security Info on the left-hand menu. Remember, we must have multi-factor authentication already set up on this account before we can add a security key. Click on Add Method and then from the drop-down menu select Security Key and click Add. It tells us we need to re-authenticate with two-factor authentication. We'll click on Next and we'll get the notification through to our phone. Once we approve that, it will log us in and we can continue with the key registration process. We have the Yubikey plugged in via USB, so we'll click on USB device. We can click on the Next button. The next screen will show us the user that we'll be putting onto the Yubikey device. In this case, it's cybersecurity@loyalit.com.au. We then click OK, and then OK again. It's time to now plug in the Yubikey, so plug it into the USB port. You'll be prompted for the PIN, which is by default 123456. Now touch the security key to prove that you're at the computer. Once you touch it, it accepts the security key and saves it on your account. You'll now be prompted to enter a name. In this case, I'm just going to enter Yubikey. And we're all set. Click on the Done button to complete the installation. We can see Yubikey there listed as a device that will allow us to authenticate to your account. Let's test it out by opening an in-private browsing window and going to portal.office.com. Now we'll log in with the key, so click on Sign In Options and select Sign In with a security key. Now we enter our PIN, 123456, and click OK. Touch the security key to make sure that Windows knows that we are sitting at the computer. Select the user account that we want to log in as. There are multiple accounts registered to the one key. Click on the OK button, click on Yes, and now we're logged in. To recap, it's just as simple as plugging in the security key, entering in your PIN number, touching the security key, going to portal.office.com, selecting the account that you want to log in as, that logs you in. This is passwordless authentication using a security token. In other words, enterprise-grade security for your small business. Now I'll demonstrate logging into Windows using your Microsoft account and the Yubikey. For that we need a Microsoft 365 Intune license associated with your user account. Once you've purchased the Intune license from your managed services provider or from Microsoft, it needs to be added to your account. If you've purchased it from a managed services provider, they will likely do this step for you. However, if you've purchased them directly from Microsoft, you'll need to go into your admin console of your tenant and add the license to the appropriate users. I'll search for me. I'll click on my name. Go to the Licenses and Apps tab, and then click the box next to Intune. Once we've done that, we hit the Save Changes button to activate the license on the account. It's as simple as that. Now we need to set up Intune to make sure it accepts security keys when logging in. We go to endpoint.microsoft.com. That'll take you to your Intune dashboard. Click on Devices. Click on Enroll Devices, then click on Windows Hello for Business. Scroll to the bottom on the right-hand side there, ensure Use Security Keys for Sign-In is enabled. Then click on Save. Now we need to set up the workstation to allow a login from Office 365. From the Windows 11 workstation, we go to the Start button and search for Accounts. Click on Access, Work or School. On the Add a Work or School account, click on the Connect button. Click on Join this device to Azure Active Directory. We must sign in with multi-factor authentication not with the Yubikey. I accept a request on my phone. Click the Join button to join Azure Active Directory. We get the completed message, so click on the Done button. Now there is one more step. We need to enroll only in device management, and that is where the Intune part comes in. This enables us to log into Windows using the Yubikey. So click on Enroll Only in Device Management, put in your username, click Next, and now we have to log in again using multi-factor authentication. We'll send the notification and respond to it on our phone. Click Yes to the message that appears. Now the device gets registered in Intune, and that's the key part to being able to log in with your username using the Yubikey. Let's test it out. We'll close all screens and then log out of Windows. My computer tries to use facial recognition to recognize me. This is not part of the demonstration, so we'll ignore it. Click on Sign In Options and click on FIDO Security Key. Now we'll plug in the Yubikey. We enter our super secure PIN, press enter, and now it asks us to touch the key. When we touch the key, we're now logged in. You might remember before you saw a number of logins associated with my key. This login type only allows for one login per key, unlike website logins where you can store multiple logins per key. When we check the login details here, we can see that I'm logged in as cybersecurity@loyalit.com.au. This is now proof we can log into Windows with the Yubikey and our Microsoft 365 account. Let's exit the propeller hat zone and wrap up the video. What did we learn? There are some complexities in the prerequisites that you need to conform to before configuring this type of authentication. This configuration is only compatible with Windows 10 and 11. We learnt the authentication protocol used is FIDO2. Yubikey 5 series is the key you will need for this type of configuration. This configuration enables secure passwordless authentication for Microsoft 365 and Windows. Thank you for joining me for a look at configuring Yubikey with Microsoft 365 and Windows. There are a few moving parts in this setup, but once configured, you will have secure passwordless authentication to both Microsoft 365 and Windows. Passwordless authentication is as good as it gets, so this is a perfect solution for locking down your workstation. Don't forget, you can contact me via email, Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter. Also, check out the podcast at loyalit.com.au/podcast. Until next time, stay safe online.
Oh yeah, this is the Cyber Informer. Hackers, you going down like, oh yeah, this is the Cyber Informer. Hackers, you going down, yeah.